In a shocking case that has rocked the community, a former Miami Dade Police Lieutenant, Braulio Gonzalez, has been sentenced to life in prison for the heinous crime of repeatedly molesting two young girls. The victims, now in their 20s, have been left scarred by the traumatic experiences they endured. How did this respected law enforcement officer manage to evade justice for so long, and what led to his unexpected downfall? "You have left an indelible scar on me that will remain forever," one of the victims expressed to Gonzalez, conveying the lasting impact of his actions. Lieutenant Braulio Gonzalez, a former member of the Miami Dade Police Department, has been sentenced to life in prison after being convicted of raping his own family members. The judge, Miguel M. de la O, delivered the verdict, acknowledging the severe consequences Gonzalez's repeated molestation had on the two young girls, who were now in their 20s. Judge de la O emphasized that despite the prison sentence, the victims will have to bear the trauma for the rest of their lives, hoping that they will find the strength to overcome it. He further gave a comment on the perplexing situation of individuals who continue to defend the perpetrator, referring to it as a clear example of cognitive dissonance. After a swift 15-minute jury deliberation, Gonzalez received a meager 3-month prison sentence upon being found guilty of armed kidnapping and lascivious molestation. Despite his conviction, Gonzalez intends to appeal the decision and chose not to address the court or extend an apology to the victims during the hearing. The initial arrest of Gonzalez by the Miami-Dade police took place in September of 2018, prompted by the disclosure of a girl who was acquainted with him. She confided in a psychologist, revealing that she had been subjected to multiple instances of fondling between the ages of 8 and 10. In her testimony to an interviewer from the Florida Department of Children and Families, she recounted an alarming incident where Gonzalez, waking her up, molested her and even held a gun to her head. Allegedly, he employed threats of violence, warning her that failure to comply with his demands would result in harm not only to her, but also to anyone else residing in the house. The sister of the first victim also came forward to investigators, revealing that she too had experienced molestation at the hands of Gonzalez. Both victims courageously testified during the trial, sharing the profound impact that his actions had on their lives. Remarkably, one of the victims, now in college and studying psychology, aspires to utilize her own trauma as a means to support and assist other victims. With a strong determination to bring about positive change, she hopes to channel her experiences into helping those who have suffered similar hardships. Gonzalez previously worked as a police officer in Hialeah before joining the Miami-Dade Police Force in 1999. Prior to his arrest, he was a member of the Special Response Team, which dealt with high-stakes situations such as hostage situations, warrant executions, and pursuing dangerous fugitives. Internal police records revealed that Gonzalez was accused of multiple counts of physical assault and abuse against former romantic partners. Despite these serious allegations, Miami-Dade Police chose to keep him on the force, clearing him of any wrongdoing. In her address to the court, the victim's mother expressed her anguish, emphasizing that Gonzalez had inflicted harm on numerous people over a long amount of time, evading accountability time and again. She was certain that he would never change his ways, despite the devastating impact his actions had on the lives of those who were affected. The victim's mother's heartfelt words echoed in the courtroom, resonating with the devastating truth: he will never change. Despite the defense's efforts to portray Gonzalez as a dedicated officer who had saved lives during his time in law enforcement, the prosecution's case, led by Natalie Snyder and Khalil Madani, was compelling. They shed light on Gonzalez's darker side, emphasizing his alleged violence and the imminent danger he posed to others. While Gonzalez's defense lawyer, Bruce Lur, sought a more lenient sentence of 25 years, his wife and fellow officers testified in his favor. However, the credibility of one of the supporting officers, Reynaldo Casas, was called into question because he had previously been fired for testing positive for cocaine. Casas was able to reclaim his job by claiming ignorance about the drug's presence in a sexual enhancement cream. The ultimate decision was based on the judge's understanding of the case's complexities and the weight of the evidence presented in the midst of these conflicting narratives. The haunting words of the victim's mother served as a stark reminder of the irreversible damage caused by Gonzalez's actions, which had a long-term impact on the lives of those affected.